Ben from Snowy's here today, folks, with a myCOOLMAN fridge. This guy here is the CCP60, or what myCOOLMAN refer to as the all-rounder. This is an awesome fridge with a functional design. It's got a single zone with a capacity that's ideal for family camping or for large group getaways. The CCP60 weighs in at 25.6 kilos. Measurements are 73.2 centimeters in length, 45.6 in width, and height is 48.8 centimeters. It's made of a combination of polypropylene, which is this grey material here, as well as the bumpers on the corners here. So it's a heavy duty, really tough polypropylene. And then this panel around the middle here is a steel panel or metal panel. That's compatible with a magnetic battery pack that I'll tell you more on about shortly. So a bit of a tour around the outside, and we'll start at the back here. You must just see polypropylene metal, got a vent where the compressor is here and an indentation here, which at the moment this is the side the lid is hinging from, but that allows for the handle to be operated if you were to spin the lid around. Flick it around to the other ends here. We've got handle at the top here. These are spring loaded handles and they sit flush, so you don't need to remove them if you're not going to use them, but it's spring loaded. This is metal through the middle here and polypropylene or nylon filled components on the ends there. Metal panel here, and then at the bottom here, let's get everything out of the way, we have got a 12 and 24 volt input here, so you can actually power from 12 or 20 volts from the 24 volts, sorry, from this end, and also from the other end, which I'll show you shortly. Then spinning it around again, same sort of deal on this side. We've got polypropylene on the bottom vent where the compressor sits, metal panel through the middle, and at the top here, because we've got the lid hinging this way, we've got the handle up underneath there. And lastly, the business end is this end here, where we've got another one of those spring-loaded handles, the metal panel, the control panel here, and then at the bottom here we've got an AC or 240 volt input, another 12 or 24 volt input here, little USB power port, so you can actually charge your phones or USB devices from the fridge while it's running or while it's powered up. And then you've got an emergency override switch here, which will be on normal use for the most part, which means it's in normal functional use, and everything you do with this control panel here controls what happens with the compressor. If something was to fail with this panel here, you can flick this across and that just puts power straight to the compressor. It runs in full mode, full cooling capacity, and it'll probably freeze everything inside, but it's going to stop everything from going warm and going off inside the fridge. Now, I'll talk a little bit more about how to use the control panel shortly, but you do also get this little box of goodies with your myCOOLMAN fridge. Inside you get a user manual, and you also get both a 240 volt cable and a 12 volt cable. Now this is a cable, doubles up as a 2-pin plug as well, so you can take the cigarette plug off the end there and just use it as a 2-pin plug. So you've got a few different ways to power, or attach that to power in your vehicle and also at home. Coming back to the fridge now, I'll show you the lid. Now this is a reversible lid. There is a little rubber sort of panel in the middle here, so if you did put stuff on top, it stops it from sliding around. There's a little latch underneath here that you pull in to release it. There's little hooks here, and this lid is completely reversible. So if I push this all the way backwards, a bit of a shove, it pops off. There's little spring-loaded sort of notches in there to allow it to pop off, and this is all metal, these components here, all stainless steel components wherever you see metal on the fridge, and that obviously teams up to the metal hinge here that features on both sides. So if I want to reverse this lid now, I can just spin it around and put the hinges on this side here, give it a bit of a tap, and the lid is now reversed, so nice and easy to reverse it. Pop it off again, spin it back the other way, pop it back on there, and the lid's reversed. So nice easy way to change the orientation of your fridge. While we're on the lid, nice and thick here, there is about 4 to 5 centimeters of insulation, which I think is probably more like about 6 centimeters of insulation all around the fridge here. And the lid's got this big seal, rubber seal that runs around the top here, and that meets up with this flat panel around the top here. And what myCOOLMAN also do, which they don't really advertise, is run a small amount of heat from the compressor in a pipe around here, and that just stops any ice from building up around the top here to make sure that this seal always sits nice and firm against the edge of the fridge here, so you don't get any cold air escaping. Before I move any further inside the fridge, there's a really important feature I forgot on the outside, and that are these little bottle openers that feature on both ends. So each of these handles has a little bottle opener up under here, so it's nice and easy to open your drinks without having to search for it in your camp kit. So back inside the fridge, 60 litres capacity, enough room for about 96 cans inside here. Measures about 58 centimetres thereabouts, about 32 centimetres in width. At the tallest point here, or the deepest point, sorry, here, about 37 centimetres up to this edge here, and at the shallow point here, where the shelf is above, on top of the compressor, about 18 centimetres from top to bottom, or just over 18 centimetres. There's two baskets inside the fridge here. This top basket here, and I should mention too, these baskets are really durable. They're thick material that's used. It doesn't flex, and it's got a nice thick coating on it, so it's going to be protected from the moisture. And this top basket comes out independently. There's little tabs on the end here, so you can get your hands underneath and lift that out as a separate basket. If you do want taller access at this end here, they've got this little lift up flap here. So if we lift that up, that then allows us to put taller items down here, and you can easily fit wine bottle in there that's well below the top of the edge there, 1.25 litre bottles, and your milk carton is even wide enough to fit a 2 litre milk carton in there, so you can fit your taller items in that section there. So either use it up or down depending on what you're carrying. You can always lie things down in the top here as well. This basket comes out, and there is another basket underneath there which also is removable. There's tabs each side there, so you can easily lift it out. So easy to load the fridge and unload the fridge. Also makes for easy cleaning. In the bottom here, there's little channels, so the water can sort of run in these channels, and it leads towards this bung here. Now that's quite firm in there, but that leads to it's a hole that goes straight out to the bottom of the fridge. So you rinse this out, all the water runs out through that hole there and underneath and away from the fridge. Last thing inside here is the light that features back up above the shelf where the compressor is here. It's a little LED light. That's powered up all the time when there's power to the fridge. So as soon as we plug it in, that will light up, and it allows us to see inside the fridge here at night. Now these fridges are powered by myCOOLMAN's own blue compressor, they call it. They're really efficient, and they're constructed backed by years and years of experience in the portable fridge industry. And you probably can't see it on camera, but if I look in here, I can see there is a light blue compressor in there, similar color to the boxes in front here. And that's an indication that it's myCOOLMAN's own blue compressor. It's really efficient. It's a variable speed compressor, and this particular fridge in the controlled testing environment pulls about 0.8 amps per hour over 24 hours. It's in a testing environment. Obviously that's going to vary a lot depending on how you use it in the field. So we'll come around to the control panel here, and I'll just get this stuff out of the way because I want to fire the fridge up now and show you how it works. I've got a cable here. I'm going to run this off of 240 volts. So I'm going to plug this in. This cable's already live, so it's probably going to beep. Well, there we go. As soon as I've plugged it in, it did beep. This has a memory, so this will go to the last setting we had it on. So if that was already on or already had the temperature set, it remembers what the last setting was and it'll stay there. But there is now power going to that, and the light inside would actually be working. Let's take a quick look, and it is on now. Now to power the fridge up, press the power button once, it beeps and a display lights up. Now the green light here indicates the fridge is operating normally. That will do different things. There's an orange mode or an orange flashing mode. Your user manual will tell you what's happening there if you are having any troubles. Below that is a turbo light, which correlates with this button here. If we press that blue turbo light goes on. That means the compressor is now running in full mode for much longer to bring the internal temperature of the fridge down quicker. Use that to cool it down quickly, particularly if you're on 240 volt, but if you're running it on 12 volt, that's going to drain the power out of your battery a lot quicker. So leave it off once the temperature's down. Moving across from that, we've got the display that's currently showing the temperature inside the cabinet of 18 degrees. And then you've got three buttons over this side here. This is the select button for different settings. So if I press that once, this is the temperature that I'm setting inside. So at the moment it's at minus 18. This will go from about minus 22 up to about 10 degrees. I'll set that to say 0 degrees. So we'll go back up to 0. It'll flash a few times once I've finished, and then it'll go back to the internal temperature of the fridge once it stops flashing. So there we go, 18 degrees. Now 2 presses of this goes to changing between Celsius and Fahrenheit. Here in Australia, we want to have it on Celsius. Let it flash, goes back to the set or the internal temperature. Now 3 presses goes to the battery setting mode. Now the user manual has information on just when this cuts out. So this is to protect the battery. It'll cut out when it hits a certain voltage of the battery. So there's low, medium and high. Consult your user manual a bit more of that, but it's basically there to stop the fridge from draining the battery completely. Now 4 presses turns Bluetooth on and off. Now there's a Bluetooth app that you can download to your Apple or Android phone and control the fridge from the app. So you can do it from the front of the car or while you're sitting in camp just to monitor what's happening in your fridge. So 3 presses of that will turn that Bluetooth on and off. Having it on may drain the battery a little bit quicker, but it is a pretty cool feature, especially to be able to control it from the front of the car while you're driving. Now to pair this fridge with your Bluetooth app, there's 2 ways you can do it. You've got this QR code up here, which you can connect in the closed mode. So you need to play around in here a little bit more, some settings. So we can hold down on both of these for 3 seconds and it will then go to open and close. Close means we need to use the actual QR code to connect to the app. Open means we can scan Bluetooth devices to connect it to our phone. So that's how you connect it to your app on your phone. The last setting I want to show you is not something that myCOOLMAN actually advertise much, but if we hold down on both of these, it enters a factory calibrated mode, which is set before it leaves the factory. So if I hold down on both of these, this is now showing that the temperature gauge in here, or the temperature sensor inside, hasn't been adjusted up or down for accurate temperatures. During manufacturing, they can find there might be a little bit of extra glue on the sensor inside that may affect its reading. So they calibrate it at the factory, and if they find that this reading here is a degrees difference, or say it's a degree higher, this is saying 18, but we're measuring 17 inside, we can then calibrate this by saying, I want this display to be 1 degree lower to be accurate inside. Shouldn't have to worry about it because it is calibrated when it leaves the factory, and it's probably only a degree or 2's difference anyway, but it is there if you decide you want to use it. If you want to turn the fridge off, hold down on the power button for 3 seconds and it all shuts down again. It's pretty much all the features. I just want to touch on some accessories that you can get. Firstly, before I go into the battery, actually, I'll cover on the covers. You can get insulated covers for the fridges here. These offer a bit of protection for the fridge, also increase the efficiency a little bit. Probably one of the best additions you can have for your fridge. And they have a few extra pockets and things on the outside too, to allow for a bit of extra storage. You can also get this battery from myCOOLMAN, which is an external battery. It's a separately available item. This sort of thing is really coming into the market quite strongly now, but this is what's currently available. It's got magnets on the back here that allow you to attach it to that metal panel that runs right around the center of the myCOOLMAN fridge here. You can then, it comes with a cable that you can then plug into your 12 or 24 volt port here. And what that enables you to do is have the power for your fridge on the side, plug it in, you then don't need your vehicle. You can take the whole fridge to the campsite, to the picnic ground, to the beach, or whatever, and run it off this battery for a set period of time. I think we're going to see a lot more of these batteries come out, bigger capacity, longer run times in the near future, so keep an eye on that. That is all the features of the CCP60 myCOOLMAN Portable Fridge. I reckon the myCOOLMAN range are a really neat design, nice flat flush design around the edges, easy to fit into a car. Functional features inside, very functional baskets that go inside there as well. A great family camping fridge. You can check these out online at snowies.com.au, where you'll find them at our lowest prices every day. You can also ask us any questions you want there, or chuck your questions down below. Subscribe to our channel for all of our latest and greatest info. Check out some other myCOOLMAN fridges like these ones down here.